Changes at a busy Rockford intersection. Local drivers react to the city's plan to reduce crashes at the Auburn roundabout.
Plus, police investigate after a car runs over a child in a Rockford neighborhood. That 6-year-old left in critical condition.
And local golfers hit the links to support a Rockford charity. Mulligans for Mental Illness raises money to support mental health services across the state line.
Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Wendell Edwards. Thanks for joining us. Tonight, Rockford's North Main and Auburn roundabout is getting a little bit more attention. It reopened as a single-lane roundabout earlier this morning.
And the big question now is whether drivers will see a difference. Rianne Weil spoke with some of those drivers today. And Rianne, what did they have to say?
Well, Mimi, Wendell, the roundabout has been the talk of the town for the past few weeks. And now that it's one lane, some drivers are taking extra caution, while others don't seem too bothered. The question isn't necessarily about whether the roundabout is safe for drivers, but rather if drivers are using the roundabout safely. I was able to speak with one driver who is also in the process of opening a restaurant near the roundabout, and she believes the intersection is a recipe for disaster.
I don't think that necessarily going down to one lane is the solution. I think there are better and more creative solutions that would result in not piling up traffic. I personally think that rumble strips, just to kind of control that speed around on the outsides of all of the roundabout would be great.
City traffic engineer Jeremy Carter said that a lot of accidents in the area are from user error and lack of attention through the intersection. Since this is a pilot program, the city will be monitoring traffic and accidents to see if this should be a permanent change. Wendell?
Rianne, thank you. A 6-year-old child is in critical condition tonight after a car hit that child yesterday evening. Now, police say the car hit the child just after 6:30 in the area of Michigan Avenue and Rose Terrace. Now, that's near Memorial Christian Methodist Church, if you're familiar with this area. Rockford police have not given any other details as of yet. No arrests have been made, and we're on top of this story and working with police for updates.
A man is killed in an evening crash in Janesville. The accident happened Friday just after 7 on Jackson Street, just south of State Street. Officers found the car on its driver's side along the side of the road. A 42-year-old man was found inside and pronounced dead at the scene. He has not been identified. No other cars were involved in the crash. Police believe the man was speeding and lost control of the vehicle.
In Beloit, a suspect is in the Rock County Jail tonight after police arrested him Sunday in a pair of shootings and an armed robbery. It all happened just before 11:30 Saturday night. Officers were called to Royce Avenue near Summit Park. There they found 2 homes with bullet damage. In the investigation, an armed robbery was reported about 3 miles away on Kenwood Avenue near Vernon Avenue. There, a victim was physically assaulted. Police arrested Maurice Sitchin about 2 hours later. The 45-year-old is accused of armed robbery, battery, possession of a firearm, and several other charges. Police say he had a minor gunshot wound, but they are still looking into how it all happened.
A new lawsuit is pushing to end the use of license plate readers in Illinois. 2 Cook County residents filed the suit in federal court last week. It claims the plate readers are unconstitutional, violating the 4th and 14th Amendments. The devices use cameras to record the license plates of all passing cars. A software scans the images, recording the time and date and the GPS coordinates of each car. The lawsuit says the automatic surveillance is unreasonable and oversteps the state's authority. Illinois officials did not comment on the lawsuit.
Rockford golfers tee off to raise support for mental health. The 7th annual Mulligans for Mental Illness outing was held earlier today. It's a partnership between Forest Hills Country Club and NAMI of Northern Illinois. The outing raised money for NAMI programs, including education advocacy services for those impacted most by mental illness. A ticket for this event included 18 holes of golf, lunch, dinner, and more. NAMI's executive director says there are many different ways that everyone can help break the stigma surrounding mental illness.
I think first of all, talking about it. I mean, that's how we continue to normalize mental illness. Secondly, going to any of the awareness or educational events we have throughout the year, learning, changing your language around mental health, mental illness.
That event also had a silent auction, allowing even non-golfers to help support this cause.
It's National CPR and AED Awareness Week. And if you don't know how to do CPR, doctors say now's a good time to learn. CPR should be performed in situations where a person isn't breathing or doesn't have a pulse. Before you get started, make sure to call 911. Doctors say chest compressions should then be done 100 to 120 times a minute. AEDs are also often available in public places. The devices deliver an electric shock to fix heart rhythm.
The instructions are right inside. Once you open up the AED, it shows you exactly where to place the pads and hit the button that says analyze. It will direct you to do everything. But that is one of the best ways to help revive somebody that has sudden cardiac arrest outside of doing just your basic CPR. It's the next step in the chain of survival.
According to the Red Cross, immediate CPR can double or triple chances of survival after a cardiac arrest.
A new study tonight shows how a stroke affects more than just the patient. The family ends up suffering as well. A stroke can occur suddenly and instantly, changing that person's life forever. In these situations, family members or loved ones often struggle to know what medical treatments the patient would want. Research from the University of Michigan finds this can cause some long-term mental health consequences, particularly for the family decision maker.
We followed these families in the first year after the stroke and measured levels of symptoms of depression, anxiety, or post-traumatic stress in the family members. What we found was that between 20 and 40% of family members experienced high levels of these adverse psychological symptoms. This really emphasizes that stroke affects the whole family, and we as healthcare providers need to do a better job of supporting everyone affected by stroke, including family members and loved ones.
More than 53 million Americans are caregivers for family members with a chronic illness or disability.
A former top infectious disease expert testifies on Capitol Hill.
Up next, Republican lawmakers grilled Dr. Anthony Fauci on the country's response to the pandemic.
And coming up at 6, the Rockford Public Library prepares to open the doors to its new facility. A look at the timeline leading up to the building's grand opening.
Isolated thunderstorms will continue throughout the rest of this evening as temperatures stay on the warm side. We've got another day of some heat and humidity along with some thunderstorm chances, timing those out through the rest of tonight and into tomorrow. Coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Mimi Murphy, Wendell Edwards, Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Welcome back. Dr. Anthony Fauci under fire today on Capitol Hill. Republicans grilled the former official about the COVID-19 pandemic and the government's response.
Hannah Brandt tells us how it went.
Contentious. For over a year now, a Republican-led committee has investigated how the government handled the pandemic. And today, they got the chance to publicly interrogate one of the most prominent leaders of that response.
From the start, accusations were flying.
That man does not deserve to have a license. As a matter of fact, it should be revoked, and he belongs in prison.
With Dr. Anthony Fauci in the witness chair, Monday's congressional hearing quickly became heated. Republicans railed against the country's former top infectious disease expert.
You made up the COVID rules, including 6 feet social distancing and masking of children.
I never said I made anything up.
The goal of the hearing was to discuss the U.S. response to COVID-19 and to examine opposing theories about whether the virus came from nature or leaked from a Chinese laboratory.
I keep an open mind as to what the origin is.
Republicans also pressed Dr. Fauci on controversial COVID policies and criticized government shutdowns that hurt businesses, students, and the economy.
Time after time again, people's lives are destroyed.
Dr. Fauci pushed back, defending many of the choices that the government made during the pandemic.
Vaccines save lives. It is very, very clear that vaccines have saved hundreds of thousands.
Democrats slammed Republicans for how they treated the former public servant and for continuing to spread what they called baseless conspiracies.
These are outrageous concoctions, fabrications, and distortions.
And they say the claims have consequences.
Do you continue to receive threats today?
Yes, I do.
Dr. Fauci left his government position at the end of 2022, and this was his first time publicly testifying since then. In Washington, I'm Hannah Brandt.
Some scattered thunderstorms moved through the state line earlier.
We had some rain here at the studio. Yeah. After the break, Candace tells us about our severe weather threat and breaks down what we can expect for the rest of the week.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, we've had some isolated thunderstorms move across portions of northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin over the last couple of hours, primarily producing some pretty heavy rainfall with some of the thunderstorms that have moved through. We've even had a few severe thunderstorm warnings. No active warnings in place right now, but we still do have some isolated thunderstorms moving across portions of southern Rock County here in southern Wisconsin. Some heavier rainfall now just to the north of the Janesville area. There were some reports of some localized flooding in and around Janesville, just kind of off to the east and southeast, and then some tree damage also reported with a stronger thunderstorm that moved through earlier today. Also keeping an eye on some of the thunderstorms that are moving across far north central Joe Daviess County and then lifting up into southwest Greene County. Biggest threats with this going to be maybe some winds gusting 40 miles per hour and some penny-sized hail along with that heavy rainfall. Now, our greatest storm coverage is likely going to be where we see the storms right now through this evening. So that means some of our southern counties missing out on some of the activity here for today. It'll just be a rather warm and muggy evening as we've got the cloud cover in place. But you notice a couple of flash flood warnings that have been issued. So any of the thunderstorms that move through, even if they do not produce severe criteria, are also going to produce some pretty hefty rainfall, just given the amount of moisture we have in the environment. So as we go through this evening and early overnight hours, the highest storm coverage is expected to be across southern Wisconsin and then primarily north of Highway 20. We could see some isolated activity across our southern counties, but again, I think that stays very, very isolated if we do see any of that at all. Now, where we have had some of that heavy rain come down, a flood watch is now in effect for Green Rock and Walworth counties in southern Wisconsin, and this will run until 4 o'clock tomorrow. There's again been some pretty heavy rainfall, and some of the rivers are already high. So the excess runoff from the heavy rain going into the rivers could cause some localized flooding, even some street flooding too may be a problem, and we could see that coverage in thunderstorm activity actually increase over the next couple of hours across southern Wisconsin as well as far northwest Illinois. Now we take a live look with our SkyTrack camera here in Rochelle looking off to the northwest. You notice the flag whipping around, so we've had a pretty decent breeze from the south, anywhere from 20 to 25 miles per hour, which has brought our temperatures into the 80s and the upper 80s at that. We're at 87 right now in Rochelle, 85 in Freeport. It feels a little muggy out there, but some rain-cooled air up to the north, where temperature in Janesville now sits at 66. Our weather watcher Terry down in Genoa, 87 degrees. Dew point temperature sits at 66, a southerly wind at 23 miles per hour. So as we go through this evening, watch what happens. We've got some additional thunderstorms a little later this evening, really lining up where we have the storms right now. And again, that's where I think the greatest coverage and any storm activity will be here throughout, I'd say at least before midnight. After that, isolated activity going into tomorrow morning, but we'll deal with mostly cloudy skies through the better part of the night. Keeping an eye on a little low pressure system moving out of Missouri here tonight. That will drift northeast into central and northern Illinois tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. So that's where we get that scattered thunderstorm chance during that time tomorrow. Cold front comes in tomorrow night. The timing of the front does not really allow that threat for severe weather, so that is on the lower scale of things, but heavy rainfall will be a concern there, both for tomorrow and tomorrow night as that cold front comes through. After that, it's a break from some of that heat and humidity. High pressure builds in. We may see a kind of slight chance for a shower or two late Thursday afternoon. Temperatures, guys, as we head through the end of the week, will stay back in the 70s.
All right, thanks, Candace. Scott's in next with sports. He says a basketball legend from the state line has died.
And Scott has the latest on the Chicago Sky in their rough play on Caitlin Clark. Did you see that over the weekend? That's coming up.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
A basketball legend from the state line has passed away. Freeport native and former Iowa basketball star Carl Kane died yesterday at the age of 89. Kane played on Freeport's state championship team in 1951. The next year, he led the Pretzels to the Sweet 16. At Iowa, he was named first team All-Big Ten. He helped the Hawkeyes reach the Final Four in the NCAA tournament his junior year. His senior year, the Hawkeyes made it to the NCAA championship game, where they lost to Bill Russell in San Francisco. Kane had 17 points and 12 rebounds in that championship game. Kane then was part of Team USA. He was on the Olympic team in 1956 that won the gold medal, although he was injured and didn't see any action. He was also taken 49th overall in the NBA draft in 1956 by Rochester. Now, everyone's been talking about the WNBA and the rough treatment Caitlin Clark has been getting, especially in this game Saturday night against the Chicago Sky. And the Sky's Kennedy Carter planted a hard hip check on Clark, sending Clark sprawling to the floor. Carter declined to speak about it to reporters afterward. Sky coach Teresa Weatherspoon didn't have much to say at the time either, other than saying it's part of competition. Well, today the Sky and Weatherspoon did some damage control, releasing a statement. In it, Weatherspoon said Carter got caught up in the heat of the moment in an effort to try to win the game. Weatherspoon went on to say she had discussed with Carter that what happened was not appropriate and it isn't who they, the Sky, are. Weatherspoon says Carter will learn from this, as will the rest of the team. If you have an appetite for more NBA playoff action, you have to hold on until Thursday. That's when Game 1 of the NBA Finals will be played between the Mavericks and the Celtics, and you'll be able to see that game here on WTVO starting at 7:30. NBA Countdown starts at 7. Well, the White Sox and Cubs have tonight off before getting after it against each other the next two nights. They'll play a brief two-game series at Wrigley Field. Tomorrow's starting pitchers will be Chris Flexen for the Sox and Shota Imanaga for the Cubs. Taking the hill Wednesday will be Eric Fetty and Jamison Tyone. Both games will start at 7:05. Well, the Packers have announced the starting date for training camp. Their first practice will be held Monday, July 22nd. That same day, they will also hold their annual shareholders meeting. They've never held the two on the same day before, but camp is starting a bit earlier this year because of the Packers' opening game in Brazil. The Vikings got some major business done today. They have signed Justin Jefferson to a 4-year contract extension that makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. He'll make an average of $35 million per season, and he'll make $88 million up front the moment that he signs that contract. And the Cowboys got some stunning news today. Their former All-Pro offensive lineman Larry Allen died yesterday while vacationing with his family in Mexico. Allen was 52 years old. He made the Pro Bowl 11 times, and he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's sports. We'll be right back.
We'll see a few isolated severe thunderstorms across the state line here through this evening.